Hey guys, welcome once again to the Wallick music vlog. Thanks for checking in. Hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about music distribution, which is super important. I recently released two singles and I was debating how I would release them. By the way, they're on this channel if you want to check them out. I was debating how I would release them. In the past, I've used CD Baby. I've been overall happy with CD Baby, but I've had a few issues. My biggest qualm was in the past. Now, this may have changed, so I may be wrong, but in the past, they would only allow you to upload 16-bit files. And I think I've talked about this in the past, but I really don't like the way 16-bit files sound. 24-bit is so much better. I'm talking about when you bounce down your final file as a master. So they wouldn't allow that. And also releasing singles is pretty expensive on CD Baby. It's like 15 bucks or something. So I wanted to see what had changed in the last couple of years and what was out there. And I found DistroKid and I decided to use them, and I'll explain to you why. So initially I was turned off by the fact that they charge 20 bucks a year and you have to keep paying more money every single year for the songs that you've already uploaded to remain on iTunes and Spotify, etc. And I didn't really like the feeling of that. CD Baby, you pay once and it's there forever. But when I dug deeper and I did some math, it turned out it really did make the most sense. $20 a year over the course of your lifetime is still like 2,000 bucks total for a lifetime of having your music out there, as opposed to CD Baby, where I'd be spending like $35 an album or something. And, if I did release an album every year, that would be more money than that. It only makes sense if you want to release like an album and then not do anything else and just leave it there. And actually, DistroKid's slogan is "Be Prolific," which I think is really cool. It just encourages you to kind of like release as much music as possible, which I think is super important these days. I was talking about this earlier in a previous vlog about quantity versus quality. And obviously quality is important, but quantity is super important because people forget about you so fast these days. You need to just keep releasing music. So for $20 a year, you can literally release as many singles or as many albums as you wish. And you should release tons of music. And I think this is just like super on point with today's music business. So this idea of $20 and then you're just in and you can release as much music as you possibly want, that's, I think, amazing. There's also a $35 option where you can release with more than one name, and I actually chose that option. I thought the $35 a year option worked better for me, but it might not work better for you. $20 still is like, it's just great. You spend 20 bucks and you can release as much music on Spotify, on iTunes, on all of these things as much as you want. Apple Music, Google Play Music. So I thought that was the way to go. Another really cool thing about DistroKid is you could set up teams, whereas if you're collaborating with other musicians and you want everybody to get paid a certain amount, you can set that up so that everybody could get paid directly from DistroKid based on the percentages you've set up in advance, assuming the other people on your team are also on DistroKid, which I think is a really neat option. Also, the other thing that I was worried about was that you'd pay all this money and you'd have to keep on paying every single year, and you could never have things live on immortally, even if you die. That is actually not true because you can pay an additional fee on DistroKid. I don't remember what the exact number was, but this will enable you to maintain having that catalog there as long as you want if you decide to stop producing music. So even if you were afraid of, oh, if I'll spend all this money and then I decide to stop spending the money and it won't no longer be there are ways around that. So it really did make the most sense. So basically, DistroKid hasn't paid me any money to say any of this stuff. This is literally just the research I did, the information I found, and I made this informed decision. So I figured I'd share this information with you, and I hope it was helpful. Remember, 24-bit uploads, I think, is pretty awesome. The fact that they want you to be prolific and release a ton of music, I think, is super on point with today's market. So it just overall seemed like the right move, and I went with them, and you could find my latest singles there if you want on any of the streaming sites, Google Music, iTunes, Spotify, whatever you use. I figured it'd be helpful if somebody had told me this before I had done all the research. So here you go. This is the information for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you are prolific and release a ton of music. I think that is what you got to do. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Wallick music vlog. And if you did, please press like, please hit subscribe. And if you found this super helpful, share it with a friend, let them know about it. And until next time, guys, hope you have an awesome day. Rock and roll.